Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mythic Production podcast. My name's Jeff Skalski. I'm a producer here at Mythic, and next to me is
Gabe Amatangelo. I'm the Encounter Strike team lead, and we're going to talk about the Land of the Dead. But first, what can I talk about exactly, Jeff, this time?
Okay.
I want to talk about it all. Can I tell them everything?
I know you do. This is supposed to be a 3-part series.
Okay.
This is part 2.
All right.
So we're just going to focus on the Necropolis today.
Are part 2 and 3 coming out at the same time?
No, we got to wait just for the next newsletter.
All right, I understand.
So let's talk about the Necropolis. How do we get there?
Absolutely. The Necropolis is, of course, located in the Land of the Dead, the homeland of the Tomb Kings. The desolate landscape is located well south of the zones which currently make up Warhammer Online. The Land of the Dead is a massive RVR dungeon consisting of 2 main parts, the Temple of the Vulture Lord, which is the pyramid, and the Necropolis surrounding it. In order to get there, both Order and Destruction have embarked on building gigantic airships, which will ferry its warriors from their own capital cities to the Land of the Dead. Building these airships, however, requires resources. These resources are earned from both Tier 4 zone control and Tier 4 player kills in Open RVR. Each realm competes in building these resources. When one realm has enough, they gain control of the skies and access to the Land of the Dead. As soon as this happens, all resource collection for both factions is frozen for 30 minutes, giving the victorious realm unfettered access to the Lands of the Dead. When 30 minutes is up, the victorious realm continues to own the sky and ferry its warriors, but its resources are now spent and fall to 0. The opposing realm resources have not been spent, however, and therefore continue to build from where they left off. In this way, both realms are virtually guaranteed to gain control of the dungeon in turn. As soon as a realm's resources hit maximum, the process is repeated. The victorious realm gains control, the resources freeze for 30 minutes, and they own the skies. This is known as flipping control of the dungeon.
So Gabe, if I'm understanding you correctly, as a player, when I'm traversing through the Necropolis, I kind of have to look over my shoulder, not knowing exactly when the enemy's going to be approaching.
Yeah, that's right. When zone control flips, the only thing that happens to players of the formerly controlling realm is that they will no longer respawn within the Lands of the Dead when they die. So when the newly controlling realm begins to arrive, they will be forced to deal with the remaining players of the formerly controlling realm, which will still have access to all of the land's content. To get them out, the new realm will have to purge them. We'll touch a little bit more on that later.
Very cool, very cool. Can't wait. So let's talk about the Necropolis a little bit. How is the PvE content kind of spread about?
Definitely. Here's a basic map of the Necropolis. You can see the Tomb of the Vulture Lord, the pyramid, at its northern tip. The uncrossable Mortis River divides the land, separating the Order camp from the Destruction camp. Players will be able to cross over to the opposing realm's side and engage in the content there. But first, they must travel through their own low, mid, and high-level content in order to do so. In all, there are 18 public quests. Now, you could almost say that each of these public quests are like a different stage in a console game. That's because each of them include a very different gameplay mechanic, not just the boss fight, but the stages themselves. Additionally, every one of these public quests are solo-friendly at all times. There will always be core monsters throughout that the solo player can continuously kill if they are, say, on the hunt for tokens. That being said, hero and lord monsters will be available for groups to defeat.
Alright, so you mentioned tokens.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit about the tokens.
Sure.
I mean, I'm familiar with Camelot and I'm familiar with Darkness Falls and the token system we did back then for that.
Yeah.
But how are we doing it for Warhammer?
So yeah, CJ, cue the Hallelujah soundbite. Tokens in Warhammer. They have a chance to drop off everything in the Land of the Dead. Public quest, bags, bosses, any monster in the zone, and of course off of players. These tokens can be taken to merchants in the camps to purchase various weapons, armor, crafting materials, and other gear, ranging in power levels anywhere from Annihilator to Warlord.
Alright Gabe, that's pretty cool. So we talked about all the various PQs, but I assume there's a little bit more to that. I mean, you're getting tokens, but what else are you getting from the PQs?
Absolutely. We couldn't rightly set our new adventures in the land of crypts, pyramids, and ancient mysteries without giving the players a chance to get into these forgotten tombs and match their wits against the creatures still lurking there. To that end, we have several new mysterious layers. Each of these layers, however, are instanced. Entry into these layers can only be achieved by possessing the correct combination of glyphs. These glyphs are automatically obtained by completing public quests in the area surrounding each of the layers. Every player completing the public quest receives a glyph, and they are stored automatically in your Tome of Knowledge. Best of all, These glyphs are not spent by simply entering the lair, but remain in your tome until you've actually beaten the lair itself.
Alright, we talked about PQs, we talked about glyphs, we talked about the layers, we even talked about the token system. So let's talk a little bit more about the Purge, because as an RVR player, that's what I'm really, really excited about. So how's that going to work?
Absolutely. To review, when Control the Land of the Dead flips, the previously controlling realms players are not kicked out. They simply lose the ability to respawn inside the lands. The newly controlling realm will now get quests, which require them to clear each of the public quest areas of enemies and assault the enemy camp. Now keep in mind, there are several remote and hidden areas throughout the Necropolis, but that's not to say that any place is truly safe from a purge, not even the instance layers. Rewards for successfully purging your enemies will be great.
Alright, Gabe, that sounds great. So is there anything else you'd like to cover with everybody?
Absolutely. So once you get into the Tomb of the Vulture Lord...
Whoa, wait, we're not talking about the Tomb of the Vulture Lord.
Console-style action RPG.
Yes. Gabe. Gabe.
What?
We can count, right? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, this isn't 3?
No, this is 2. So let's just hold that a little bit to next month.
Okay.
So everybody, thanks for tuning in for another Mythic Production podcast, and we'll see you guys around.
Absolutely. Soon.
Take care.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name's Jeff Skalski. I'm one of the producers here at Mythic Entertainment, and next to me is...
Gabe Amatangelo, and counter the...
I'm keeping that one.
That's a great one!
That one's going at the end of the podcast.
Horrible.
Oh, awesome. See?
I gotta clear
See, I was getting it out of my
I
system.
need
I was
water.
up the first couple rounds.